Annyeonghaseyo from Korea, welcome to Next Matchup. Today we're cooking sogogi muguk. It's a cold day outside today, as you can see behind me. A lot of snow, so I'm cooking something warm to keep me, nice and warm on these cold wintry evenings. And that is sogogi muguk, which is beef that is then boiled and cooked into a delicious broth and put with our friend, the radish. Look, the main ingredient here is this beautiful radish. That's the mu part. So we're gonna take Mr. Radish, we're gonna slice him up, and we're gonna put him in the delicious soup. Let's get started. There's a lot of snow. There's not a lot of people around, which is good because I'm walking along with the radish with a face on it, and I'm talking to the radish. You get some weird people looking at you if you do that in Korea. Hello.
Sorry there, Radish, we only need half of you, so I'll use the rest of you later. What type of beef you use is really up to you. There's a variety of cuts you can use, though keep in mind we are going to fry it up and then boil it down, so it's going to be very tender and it's going to cook for a long time. So if you want to use a tougher, cheaper sort of cut, feel free to do that. Then basically get it ready first so it can marinate. You could marinate it overnight or even just a couple of hours beforehand. I'm just doing it basically 30 minutes beforehand. Then prepare your radish. You don't need to peel off the outer layers. Those layers are delicious. Just run a knife over it or something over the outside of it to remove some of the impurities. And of course make sure you wash it, especially if you've been playing with it outside in the snow. Then slice it up into sort of cubes, not too small, not too big, but it's not going to matter too much for this dish. The radish is going to get soft and fall apart, and that's okay. So, like I mentioned, for our beef, fry it up until it gets nice and brown. Get a little bit of sort of that crispier coating on it. Let the fat sort of render out, some of that water come out of it, and then we're going to add about 1.5 liters of water. If that is too little or too much water, you can always adjust it later, so don't stress about the water too much. Just make sure the beef is covered and it can sit for about 20 to 25 minutes. Then check to make sure it's tender. Once the beef is tender, you can start adding in the radish. So if it's not tender up to your standards, just cook it for longer. It's not going to matter. The longer you cook it, actually, the better. If you could cook this thing for 2 hours and get that sauce ready, it'd be even more delicious. Once you add in your radish, re-season it again with the soup so that we're going to get a nice sort of flavor to the soup as well as the meat. So the meat is seasoned, the soup is seasoned as well. After about 20 minutes, that radish will be really soft and perfect. So make sure you taste it at this point because you're going to have to season it now with salt. We don't want to use soy sauce or it'll get too dark for our soup, so use salt and a bit of pepper. And just adjust as you go. If you think it is too salty, just keep boiling it until the water's gone. And then add that green onion. And it's basically ready at this stage. Now, like I said, it really is up to you. Just go for maybe another 5 minutes if you want and it'll be perfect. But you could probably cook this for another 20 minutes and it'll be even more delicious. This is one of those soups that the more water you get out of it and the more broth is in it, the better the flavor is. So I do recommend giving it a nice, good, long cook if you have the time, but if you don't, it's still going to taste great. The soup is often better the next day as well, so if you can make a big pot of it, use a lot of that radish, a lot of that water, when you come back the next day and heat it up, it's going to be a little bit thicker and a little bit more full flavored. Great soup. Put it in the bowl to serve and just eat it as it is. Enjoy!
I've lived in Korea for nearly half my life and I love cooking Korean food. If you're interested in Korean cooking, then check out my channel. I post a new Korean recipe every single week. So hit that subscribe button and like the video if you enjoyed it. Alright, let's eat this thing. Hey little buddy. The longer you cook this, the more delicious it is. So let's try the meat first. It's well seasoned, nice and salty, and nice and soft and tender. Let's try one of these radishes. Ooh, let's get a big guy. Oh, perfect. Look at this one in the middle. The radish is just about to fall apart, so it's so soft. And it's got that beautiful flavor of the meat inside it. Perfect. What about our soup sauce? It's not too dark. It's got lots of garlic in there, and seasoned perfectly. Not too salty and not too bland. So you can always add a bit of salt or some pepper later on as you're cooking it to make sure it tastes exactly the way you want it. And if you want to really get a good kick out of it, let it boil down a little bit more and get rid of some of that water. If you take about maybe say a fifth of the water away, it's going to taste even better. Alright, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to put him away. We'll use him on another day for another recipe. Thanks for watching and 안녕히 계세요. See ya!